going to make a difference? Is it really going to make a difference? And if the answer is a resounding yes, then we go all in and then release the product. And if it's not going to make a difference in the industry, if it's not going to make a difference in somebody's life, then we aren't going to do it. When we started talking about CamberPure and looking at this, it was a resounding yes, because it's really the last frontier of what we can do with lenses. And when we combine it with the expertise of Younger and with the Camber Blank, the optics are amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So we really truly are refining progressive vision as we all know it. So let's get started. Now, as you know, that progressive wears, that clarity has always, because there's so many different powers at work in a lens, we often, as a progressive wearer myself, we often have to make compromises. And as someone that has a higher prescription, I've noticed and have always noticed that materials make a major difference. And also the fact that I'm an optician, it makes a difference, because modern lens materials, it truly does. They're thinner, they're lighter, they're flatter, they're more cosmetically appealing. But the problem with that is you do get chromatic aberration. And that's whenever you get that little blur, that slight distortion. The problem with that is that does affect how people can experience the lens, and we want them to have a very good experience. A lot of the materials that we give to our patients, that we recommend to our patients, are these advanced materials like polycarbonate and high index, they're very good materials. However, they can introduce chromatic aberration, and that's about 65% of what we do. Yes, can we give them other materials? Absolutely. But if you have a higher prescription, you're not going to want to be giving them plastic, which is going to have a higher Abbe, and we'll get into that as well. But this is just something to consider, that we know that even we need to give these advanced materials to our patients and recommend them. But the one thing that we have to know is that we're giving them the best possible solution that we can. And that's one of the things that we looked at when we were talking about CamberPure. So this is our challenge. We know chromatic aberration is going to happen. And that happens when the lenses fail to focus all the colors on the same point on the retina. Now, it's inherent in any optical lens. No matter the lens, no matter the material, it's inherent in any optical lens. Some of them are going to have higher chromatic aberration than others, but it's nothing that you can do. It's just something that happens. Patients, interestingly enough, cannot identify chromatic aberration on their own. They just know it feels not as crisp. It seems a little fuzzy. They don't even know how to explain it. It's not like they walk into the office and say, I am experiencing chromatic aberration, I want you to fix it. Because they don't have the words for it. But we know as opticians what chromatic aberration is, and we know why it's happening. And we also know that we have an opportunity to fix it. We also know that in lower Abbe lens materials, stronger prescriptions, and larger frames, it's actually more pronounced. So today we're introducing CamberPure, and I apologize for the scratchy voice. I'm powering through a cold. But today we're introducing CamberPure, and if you can't hear me, let me know, and or let Jody know, or just raise your hand and I'll repeat something. But today we're introducing CamberPure. Now, CamberPure has the ability with design and design alone to reduce, now hold on to this and I hope you're sitting, to reduce chromatic aberration. Yeah, we can actually reduce chromatic aberration through design alone by an average of 20% in any lens material across the board. This is groundbreaking. This is something we've never heard of in this industry before. In the past, we've always heard that the only way to reduce chromatic aberration is by switching to a material with a higher Abbe value. But this is no longer true with CamberPure lenses. So we can reduce chromatic aberration. And that's an amazing thing when you think about it. But now I'm sure you're asking yourself, how can they possibly do this? Is it magic? Is it fairy dust? Is it pixie dust? Well, maybe a little bit. But, we can't tell you all of the secrets. Yes, we can actually, and we will. So this is how we do it. We have a new breakthrough technology called CART, Chromatic Aberration Reduction Technology. This is patent pending, and it's only available from IoT on CamberPure lenses. This technology is stacked on top of our other patented and unique technologies, including the Camber lens blank from Younger Optics, which provides, and we all know this, provides much better near vision experience, especially for the presbyopes. And of course, that's why we are in a progressive in the first place, is because our arms are too short. And then on top of the Camber, we stack Digital Ray Path 2. Digital Ray Path 2 is our ray trace technology. It's the powerful engine that allows us to do what we do with CART technology. It allows the eyes to use its ability to accommodate. So we know our eye naturally accommodates. So when we take this into account, what we do is we actually expand the vision throughout the lens. So we're allowing that to happen as well in this lens. And then steady methodology. This is the patented and it's the unique technology that is created for dealing with motion. Now I know a lot of times when you put somebody in a progressive, the very first thing that they'll say is, everything feels like the floor is coming up to meet me, or I feel like I'm moving, I'm not steady. And that's again because of all the powers that are at work. But we can fix that, and we do that with steady methodology. It's created for dealing with that motion in the progressive lens. Now on top of that steady methodology, we're now adding this whole cherry on the top, which is your CART technology. And we're taking care of the chromatic aberration. We're reducing that regardless of the material. The key is that we're reducing it through design, something that's never been done before. Always had an idea that it could be done, but it's really coming down to, well, how are we going to do it? And how can we do it so that it's attainable for everybody to be able to experience it? So what you're looking at here, besides the fact that it's a gorgeous little butterfly, but what you're looking at here is an image of a butterfly as light is refracting through the lens off of this butterfly. What you see is that it reaches the retina on the back of the eye. Okay, so the white light is bouncing off of the butterfly and it's coming through the lens. And when it's coming through the lens, it's hitting at different parts on the back of the retina. So IoT and other freeform lens designers, we make all of our prescription corrections on the yellow point. And you can see the yellow point. The yellow point is what's actually hitting on the retina. The significance of this yellow is that it's where we measure the index of refraction and where advanced freeform lenses correct for power. So of course we want to make sure that all of the bandwidths come together. And when we're doing that, we measure freeform power, but we also know that blue light, which you see as before, is very high energy. So that's going to focus in front of the retina. Red light's a little bit slower, it focuses behind the retina. We want to bring all of this together because we know when we bring it all together, or as close together as possible, we're going to get a much better view. We're going to get a picture that is more together, instead of what you're noticing in the circle, which is how the butterfly, instead of it looking like a butterfly, it looks like it's kind of been put through a shredder almost, where the colors are separated or stacked on top of one another. If you look in that circle where it says chromatic aberration. So if we don't bring the colors together, the viewer is left with something that is kind of stacked on top of one another. We want them to have a full color image. We want them to experience all of the reality of what is our real life and get the fullness of that. And that's what CamberPure can do. We don't want them to have those blurred images. So this is the difference. Now, how do we, with the design and design alone, reduce this chromatic aberration? So you've seen what the technologies are. You see how it came into being with knowing where the light actually hits on the retina. But what do we do with that knowledge? Well, if you have a very powerful engine, like Digital Ray Path 2, you can correct not only at the bandwidth where we measure power and index of refraction, which is the yellow, but you can also correct simultaneously deep into the red at 656.3 nanometers and far into the blue at 486.1 nanometers. So we're covering the entire spectrum from 587.6, which is your yellow, to your red at 656.3, to your blue at 486.1. So what you have then is a correction in 3 very specific points that encompass all of human color vision. Now those points are specifically chosen because it is the ratio of the index of refraction of these 3 very specific bandwidths that's used to calculate the Abbe value. Now what that means is that we can not only reduce chromatic aberration in any lens material by about 20%, but we can also calculate the impact we've had as if it were an effective Abbe value. I know you're wondering, how's this actually happening? I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Now, knowing that, this is how we actually do it. We adjust and manipulate the back of the lens surface, just as we do for power, because that's what freeform does. So we're working on the back side of the lens, and we're altering the lens geometry. And we're doing it in a very specific way. So we're doing it in a very specific way, very locally, to the prism in the lens, around the edges. So by reducing the prismatic effect at the periphery, where the light begins to become dispersed, we can affect and we can reduce chromatic aberration. So in other words, now think about this. So in other words, it's the same thing that we do all the time, that we do routinely with all of our advanced freeform lens designs. But rather than just doing it once in one color, we're doing it 3 times in 3 distinct colors. So we're correcting on the periphery for the red. We're correcting on the periphery for the yellow. We're correcting on the periphery for the blue. And we're capturing all of this, and we are able to provide a more higher effective Abbe value. Now, you'll notice when you look at this chart, and I'm talking about reducing the chromatic aberration. I'm not mentioning an increase in Abbe value. Why? Because Abbe value is calculated for each individual lens material, and it is inherent to that material, so that you can't change. That's a physical thing about the actual material itself. However, we can reduce the chromatic aberration. We can recalculate an effective Abbe value that the patient will perceive, and it's about that perception. So we can recalculate an effective Abbe value with CART technology. For example, with polycarbonate, the Abbe value of polycarbonate is 30. That's inherent in the material. With CamberPure and CART technology, we can create it so that it's an effective Abbe value of 41. That's amazing. These materials have Abbe values like the polycarbonate, the 167, the 174. All of these are in the 30s, in the 40s. And oftentimes that's considered a compromised Abbe value because it's not the best. It's definitely not the best of the best. With CART, we increase it. So we're taking polycarbonate and increasing it to 41. We're taking 167, 174 and increasing it to an effective value of 41. Now look at even 160 with already a pretty decent Abbe value of 43. And we can, with CART technology, make it so that it's an effective Abbe value of 52. Trivex, that's a phenomenal Abbe value to begin with, but we're improving that to 56. And hard resin has a 58 Abbe value. We can improve that to 69. That's amazing when you think about that and think about the things that we can do with that. All those materials that start out good, like the 160 and the Trivex, we're bringing them up, and we even bring it up with the hard resin. So we are able to do this. And as I've said, with even the most progressive lenses are not dispensed in hard resin. And as I've said, let me try this again. As I've said, most progressive lenses we're dispensing in polycarbonate. We know this. We don't always dispense it in hard resin. Even though hard resin has a great Abbe value, it's not the best, especially if you have a higher prescription. We know that. So that's why we've always traditionally gone with polycarbonate or 167, 174. But by doing that, we are compromising what somebody is actually seeing. With this new technology, with CART technology, we're fixing that. And we're pushing the boundaries of what we can actually do with our lenses now. Now, the truth is that most patients can't identify chromatic aberration. Like I said, you're not going to have a patient that's going to come in and say, I'm experiencing chromatic aberration, but they do know that things are just not as sharp, that it's not as clear for them to see things, that they're seeing halos. They know that. We all know that. These things that they perceive, they just don't have the language to talk about it. And that's where we come in. Now, this is what an artist's interpretation of chromatic aberration looks like. The way a patient really perceives it is on the right-hand side, okay? Is on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is CamberPure. So if you're looking at the butterfly, which is still beautiful, even in its ragged state on the left, which is a standard progressive lens, this is how somebody is perceiving it. It's not crystal clear and it's not sharp. On the right-hand side, with CamberPure, look at what the difference makes just by using the technologies and stacking the technologies on top of one another. We are able to bring those colors closer together. And there's, of course, many benefits for a wearer with CamberPure. So, based on this unique technology, when we talk about crisp detail at every single distance and in every direction, we're not only talking about optical design, but also how we're able to deliver sharpness by reducing that chromatic aberration. So we're enabling the patient to experience sharper, more accurate vision. Everything looks more natural. The contrast perception that they see, they get vivid, true to life colors. It's effortless. It's fast adaptation. We always want fast adaptation for our patients. We want them to be comfortable, and we want the design to be lightweight, stylish, and deliver the clarity that is absolutely necessary in their eyewear. It's not like we ask for much, actually. Now here's the availability. It's available on the Camber Lens Blank, and you can see what we have here. We have clear material styles, hard resin, Trivex, polycarbonate, 160, 167, 174, in all the flavors. And I would definitely talk to the lab about all of this information and what the availability is. With CamberPure, you're not going to have to say no. Absolutely not. In all materials, we can handle RXs from +9 to 19 with a total power and up to a +450 add power. Pretty phenomenal when you think about it. And if you want any additional information, you can click on or take a picture of any of these QR codes, and you'll be directed to all of the sites that we have up here. So the CamberPure website, where you can get a ton of additional information. You can go to the 2020 magazine and get more information on clarity without compromise. And understanding Abbe value, our IoT blog, there is a ton of information on our IoT blog about everything that we have on there, as well as One Lens, All Materials by Feldman. Okay? So these are great resources for you to look at and to try, and everything that you would possibly want to know. And we can also get you on the mailing list for CamberPure if you would like that as well.
Hey, Barb, it looks like David
Oh,
has a question.
okay. Excuse me. Go ahead, David. I think you're on mute.
Okay, now I'm off mute. Hi,
Hi.
thank you for doing this. I want to say for the record that I am wearing Camber Pure as we talk,
Oh, good.
and I absolutely love them.
Fantastic.
I've got, in fact, when I put on, I have multiple pairs of glasses, and when I put on the others, I find myself just kind of going, I think I'll put the other ones back on again. So I'm going to be re-lensing a bunch of glasses. A couple questions that I have. I think I've got a better handle now on how the lens works so that I can explain it uh, better. I would be interested in getting, and I don't know if you guys share that, more technical information about exactly what you're doing in the surfacing
Mm-hmm.
that is allowing you to enhance the contrast. Um, I don't absolutely need to have that, but I would be very interested if you share that. I would love to see it. My bigger questions have to do with a couple things, though. One is, um, can this technology be incorporated into single vision and occupational lenses as well?
At this time, it is progressive only. We
Okay.
are not exploring single vision right now or occupational lenses, but progressives, because we know with all the power and everything that goes on with that, the main focus has been progressive lenses,
Right.
because
No,
we're working also with the camber lens blank.
I hear that. But have you also just tested the technology of the color saturation and reduction in or improvement in Abbe value with single vision products just to see if it
Yes.
holds up?
Yes, we have, and we know that there's a need. But at this moment, with the cart technology, whether or not we do something with cart technology in the not too distant future with single vision and the other lenses, um, that's always a possibility.
Okay.
But
Well, I
yes,
hope
we have.
all I can say is I hope you do, uh,
Yes,
because I think this technology should be available to everybody.
I would agree. I would agree with you.
That's number one.
Absolutely.
Number two is that I know that you're doing a little bit of notching with the yellow light, which I think should help with night driving. Have you done any tests to see if this new cart technology helps with oncoming car headlights any more than just a simple 585 dip?
Um, I am not aware of it, but I can put that on the list of something to ask our tech managers, if
Okay.
that's okay, because I don't know off the
Yeah.
top of my head. Um, but I can certainly ask.
Okay.
Have you noticed a difference wearing them at night?
I don't do a lot of night driving.
Okay.
I just generally notice much. The comment that I've made to people is that it feels like the lenses are made out of air,
Okay.
which is really interesting because when I put on other lenses, I can definitely feel like there's almost a little bit of an impediment.
Uh huh.
And all the other lenses I'm looking at, I'm comparing to are, things like Camber because I wore a lot of Camber before,
Mm-hmm.
and also Lifestyle 4 and IoT and Intelligence, all good lenses. But this lens is really different.
So would you say it's like not wearing a lens?
Well, it's as close to not wearing a lens. I mean, I used to be a contact lens wearer,
Uh
but
huh.
this is like it just feels very natural. And I will say that it's easier for me to find my near a little bit easier than it is with other lenses. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why, but it just feels like it's just a little bit quicker.
Well, that's the magic of camber. The lens design, the blank itself. That's definitely the magic of camber. So,
And I want to make sure everybody knows I wasn't given any inducement.
I
It wasn't anything to come on the
was
call.
gonna say no. I
But I'm just, but I'm just a very enthusiastic wearer who is very happy. I mean, we're doing in my practice, we're actually reaching out to clients and telling them about this lens. And I haven't done that before much with lens technologies because it's been a while since I've experienced something where it was like an aha moment, and this really is that for me. So for what
I'm
that's
so
worth,
I'm so happy you had a wow moment. I mean,
yeah,
that's the best thing that I look for when I talk to my patients.
yeah,
Is it's I want to see their look when they put them on for the first time, and
yeah,
you can almost see like this light bulb or this moment where wow, this makes a difference.
yep,
There's nothing quite like it, honestly.
yep. I would agree with that. Anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Jody?
If anybody has any more questions, please drop them in the chat box. And I'm going to go ahead and put some, I just want to make sure everybody is able to take a little short quiz, make sure we understood what Barb said. Can you see the poll questions that I popped up on the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, if you guys want to just go through and answer those, and then I will share the results. First one's basically chromatic
I
aberration is
don't,
stronger. Yes, somebody saying something?
I don't see any questions on this.
You don't see any poll questions?
I don't either.
Okay, Barb, I think you might have to
Same.
stop sharing screen and then I
Oh,
can
okay.
launch those. Let's see.
All right, let me go over to my other screen here. Too many screens in my office. Stop sharing.
Okay, let's see if I can. We will try this.
Yep,
Okay.
it's back.
There we
All
are.
right.
There we
There
go.
we go. So if you guys would go through these again, number one is chromatic aberration is stronger. Is it when Abbe value is lower or when Abbe value is higher? And second question, chromatic aberration is stronger. Number one, directly in the center of the lens or away from the center lens. Number three, chromatic aberration is more noticeable. Number one, in larger frames or in smaller frames. And then number four, chromatic aberration can be perceived as, is it blurred edges, weak contrast, or all of the above? And then number five, which of these lens materials has the most chromatic aberration? Is it plastic, Trivex, high index, or polycarbonate? I'll give you just a couple seconds here, and then I'm going to share the results of the poll. Right. All right, you guys seeing the results there? All right, so number one, chromatic aberration is stronger, and we had most of you got this, and the lower Abbe value. Can you guys see there's these results?
I'm not seeing the results.
Okay, all right.
No.
I'm seeing my results, but not.
Everybody's.
Okay.
Correct. Me too.
We may be having a little bit of a technical problem here, but it looks like I can see everyone's results, and it looks like most of you got all of these correct. Barb, you evidently did a really good job because everyone's, I mean, outside of one or two, everyone's getting all of these answers correct. So we just really wanted to make sure that you understood, why this lens was so important, what the problem was, and how it actually helps us see better by fixing or helping us to make chromatic aberration less noticeable. So I'm going to read a few of these questions here. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box. Let's see. How does CART square with Dennis Fong's and Daryl Minister's mathematical research that qualifies the limits of aberration a single lens optical system can address? Barb, you want to jump all over that one?
Oh, I'll jump right on that one. Van, I will get you the answer for that. And because you're not going to want me to even attempt that. So I know what my strengths are. That's not one of them. So I will get you the answer from the top guys at IoT and Younger, and we'll get you an answer.
Anybody else have any questions in regards to the CamberPure? Well, on that note, thank you, Barb. That was an amazing presentation. Evidently, everyone knows exactly how this lens works, and they're going to go out there and sell tons of these to their patients so they can see so much better. And with that, thank you for joining us. And Keith, could you please jump in and talk to us a little bit about Laramy-K?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, and thank you, Barb, for that great presentation. You did an outstanding job. If everyone's not familiar with Laramy-K, we've been serving independents for 35 years, and perhaps more importantly, we've been proudly making IoT lenses for over 15. And we're really excited about CamberPure. We've been getting excellent feedback. We started with a couple of people in house in the lab who are self-proclaimed poly non-adapts and poly haters, if you will. And they're both wearing CamberPure now, professing clearer, sharper vision than they've ever had before in poly. So that was our first pretty exciting result, and we already have accounts that are switching over all of their premium progressives over to CamberPure because of the results they've been getting with them, what they've seen, David being one of them. And that's just a fantastic example of the kind of feedback we've been getting. So if you're interested in giving CamberPure a try, uh, give us a call at the lab or reach out to me directly, Keith at Laramy-K.com.
Thank you so much again for. There was a question real quick about availability, and Barb and Amir, you can jump all over this too. But yes, there is such a huge availability when it comes to this lens, when it comes to all the materials, number one, but then also, yes, you can get them in transitions gray and brown and polarized, transitions driver and neochromes. So really shouldn't be a reason why any of your patients couldn't wear this lens. Barb or Amir, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I can add more into it. So pretty much CamberPure is really built on the Camber lens blank, and so pretty much giving you a broad availability and flexibility from power range and materials and style. So it's available pretty much from +9 to -19 up to 450 add power. And materials, hard resin, trilogy, polycarbonate, 167, and 174. Yeah, so pretty much as Jody mentioned, it's available in clear UV 420, also transition Gen S gray and brown, nichrome gray and brown, transition extractive gray and brown, transition extractive polarized gray, no polar gray and brown, and transition driver. Correct me, Keith or Jody, but this is all it's available in. But if you have
Yes.
more question or interested in anything, just give a call to the lab and we'll give you more information about it as well.
And it looks like too, we have a few more good questions coming in. So and Barb, Amir, I'm going to throw this to you too. What kind of POP materials would be available to them so that they can advertise this to their patients?
Well, we have patient brochures that we can set up for you, and that gives just enough information so that they can, it'll generate questions and they can ask you, and it allows you to have talking points. PowerPoint presentations that that I can supply that give you little analogies to use whenever you're trying to, trying to figure out the best way to talk about the subject, and get them interested in it. So we have a lot of information that we work with the lab to send out to you. So whatever you're looking for, we can certainly help you with. We have absolutely no problem in doing that. Amber, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, we also have just mainly for offices, like for opticians, if they need a lens design comparison, we can provide them from that as well So anything that you think about customization, like education thing that you need for your office, especially for optician talk or patient, we can customize that for you as well.
And how would they order these, Amir?
I mean, the best way is to reach out to the lab, and the lab will reach out to us, or Keith can provide my email to the practice, and then we can work with them.
Okay, and we do have some other really good questions. We can't end without answering some of these. And one of them was, will all labs currently carrying Camber have access to this new design? And that answer is no. They do have to go through a process as well to be able to offer this lens. So it won't be just because they offer a regular Camber that they have CamberPure. And then one of the other questions is there a lens material that's best, for example, Travex versus poly? And really the cool part about this lens, and I'll have Barb jump in too, is not necessarily which lens material would be better. It's the fact that you don't even have to think about which lens material anymore, because the CamberPure makes up for what a polycarbonate lens won't do. Compared to a Travex. So no longer do you have that patient come in, and I'm just going to use myself for example. I'm a -7 total power. I'm blind, and I like large frames. I'm a nightmare, and so we don't have to think about that anymore. Oh, great! You can spend less money if you want to and get that poly and have an impact resistant, and we still can help you out with a large frame and your bad prescription, and we can still put you in a 167. Or if we wanted to do poly, we could. Barb, you want to
Oh no, I totally agree with
expand
that.
on that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, Jody. That's absolutely correct, because sometimes we get we get stuck in, oh, what's going to be the best possible option, and you don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to guess anymore. You just know, and you can be confident in your decision no matter what material you choose for the patient or what material you recommend for the patient. That CamberPure is going to give them the best possible vision, and it's going to improve the effective Abbe value. So it's going to be, even if you get a or even if you get a polycarbonate, it's going to feel like it's a better Abbe value to them. Did that make sense?
Absolutely. And we have another one, and I'm going to back up on the software, so we're not skipping that one, but just a second. This one is a comparison basically to, and I don't know if you guys, I'm not going to touch this one, but Amir and Barb, you can, just comparing it to the Autograph 3 or the Intel. How does Camber beat these out? Is it apples to apples? How's it better? And I'm going to really, Barb, I'm going to throw that to you to answer that question.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Yeah.
As far as top level design, I think top level design, they're both top level designs. I mean, Shamir's a great product, IoT is a great product, CamberPure is a great product. What you're looking at, though, it's not necessarily apples to apples. With Camber, it's a different kind of a blank. It's the dual-sided blank where you have multiple base curves on the front. Shamir uses its backside technology. And also with the CamberPure, you're looking at the CamberPure cart technology, and that's not available on anything else. It's a patented technology. It's not available on anything else. So once you get to the top level of these type of lens designs, it really does come down to just the little minute details, because they're good. All these lenses are good. Once you're at that elite level, they're all good. But you just have to, like, who has more bells and whistles? At this juncture, it's CamberPure, because we can handle the chromatic aberration. We can help with Abbe value, the feel of the Abbe value. We can create clearer vision and wider vision with Digital Ray Path 2 and make it feel like it's a solid, stable lens. And we can make it so that, with the Camber lens design, you're right in that near area when you need it. You don't have to go searching for it. So those are all considerations whenever you're looking at something. But that's my take on it.
And Bob, I would answer the same thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
correct.
I was getting ready to say, Bob, you might be doing a bit of a disservice by calling the dual-sided camber technology and the cart technology is minor details. I think
Yeah.
both of them are pretty big game changers.
Yeah, that's true. They are significant. They are absolutely significant.
Definitely. And then so let's just back up to this last one here. It's, unless anybody adds any more questions, but this question, it says, I'm using CompuLink software and I see a lot of Camber lenses in the lens tables, but not CamberPure. How do we rectify this? And then thank you, Gina, for saying you can add it to your tables. And I would suggest this with all products, that you want. Call the lab, call Laramy-K, and ask them if you ever have a product that you're wanting to order from them. Call them and let them know if it's not in your drop down for sure, because they can talk you through how to where you need to go to put that on or whatever. You do need to make sure that you can actually see all of these in your drop down so that you can order them. And Keith, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't actually.
Okay.
I know that we have a couple of different ordering systems, and I'm not actually too familiar with CompuLink, but one of our ordering systems hasn't been updated yet. So, but it's just a matter of we tell our accounts to just put it in the notes.
Okay.
If it's not there.
Perfect.
And Jody, just want to recap a little bit more. There's one question, just I think that's maybe relate to this one. Someone asked, well, all labs that currently carry Camber lenses have access to their new designs. So the answer is no, not all labs. Some labs are not validated. Some labs are in the process. So Laramy-K actually is one of the labs that got validated and were passed the validation for CamberPure. Just want to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then we had one more added on here. And they just said, forgive me if it was already addressed, but what was the turnaround time? I mean, that there's so many things that go into play with that one. Keith, I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, there's no additional turnaround time for
Okay.
CamberPure.
Okay.
I mean, our average turnaround time is we say 2 to 4 days, depending on prescription complexity, finishing AR, all those factors. So, but
That's
yeah, there's
good.
no difference between CamberPure and any other free-form lens as far as turnaround.
Great. Oh, it looks like we've, stopped on the questions. If anybody, you got just a couple more seconds to add any more. Otherwise, again, I'm going to say thank you. If anybody else has anything, Barb or Amir, I appreciate you being here, and I know Keith does as well. I hope you give this lens a try because it really is a game changer when it comes to vision.
David had asked about a video, and I know Amir had sent me a video that I think
Yes.
I can forward to you.
Yeah, definitely. We can feel free to send it to anyone. That should be fine.
I think it would just be helpful because it's a visual thing, if there was some way that younger IoT can provide a video where it gives the prospective patient, a kind of video representation of what the vision looks like, or it could be photographs.
Yeah, this video is pretty good. I think it'll probably fit the bill, and I'll get that sent over to you.
Okay, thanks.
But
I was gonna say, can I play this video right now?
Hey, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Here, I'll share my screen just for everyone. Just like it's just a small video about
Hear the
CamberPure.
sound too, Amber.
Say again? Oh yes. Thank you for also share the audio. All right, okay, let's see. All right. Well, this is the video.
Yeah, that's amazing. And they're asking Amir how you can get it. How can you get that video?
Exactly. Thank you for sharing.
No problem. I'm just, this video it make me feel like I just want to drop the mic and walk away.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
But yes, so this video is available. Keith, if you have it, feel free to send it to everyone. And I know it's a big file, but let me know if you need any help with sending it to your accounts as well.
Great.
All right. So just as a recap, so as we wrap up today's webinar, and would like to sincerely, thank you everyone for joining us today and spending, your time with us today. Also, special thank to Laramy-K for hosting also this event and helping, make today's discussion really possible. Once again, hope everyone that, learned valuable information today. Thank you for attending, and we appreciate your participation and hope, maybe to see you again in the future events. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.